I'm Jessica Minton for IB Times TV, and I'm joined by Jonathan Corpina from Meridian, who's going to talk to us today about the financial markets vulnerability to technology. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So yesterday, we saw the Dow fall almost 150 points after the AP's Twitter account was hacked. How have financial markets now become more vulnerable to technology?
It's clear that everybody in our business uses all sorts of means of networks and communications to get information, whether it's social media, whether it's data feeds, watching news stories that are out there. So clearly we rely on information to help our markets find its trading range. But what we saw yesterday was something that I don't think we've ever expected to see, and the effects that it had on the market is really an eye-opening experience for us. Because clearly, when that one tweet did come out, without confirmation on it, people reacted and computers reacted in a fashion in which the markets became very volatile to the point where we were up 150 and we traded down 150 points within seconds, and then right back up again. So it just shows me that we're relying a little bit too much on technology and relying a little bit too much on unconfirmed sources of information that's out there before we start making the right trading decisions.
Usually when I think of technological glitches, I think of, say, with Facebook and their IPO when that happened. But now social media has come into play. How has Twitter kind of changed the way news comes out for traders?
So, I'll use the term back in the day. Back in the day, people watched the news feeds and they would watch the scrolling news feeds just like we would watch the scrolling tape. Now, we watch Twitter for information, and there's scrolling information that comes out there. There's other sources of information that are pulled from the internet that compile it together and produce it in a nice, neat fashion. So we're looking at all different types of data and information that's out there. What we have to remember is, where is this information coming from? How is it getting there? And is the information confirmed, and is it coming from a confirmed source? This is a very interesting lesson that we've seen here in the situation that happened yesterday. We talk about technology, we talk about computers in our markets, and there's different areas to address there. One is, this is something that was not on anybody's radar screen. We had the flash crash, and then we talked about that and realized, how can we prevent this from happening? We had the issue with Knight. Once again, had a conversation and had different inquiries as to, had this happen and could it happen again? A bad tweet coming out has never been discussed and has never been looked at as the effects that it's going to have on the market. And then take that another step with the computers that trade off of headlines and look for negative headlines, look for negative keywords that are out there, and then those computers start trading off of that information. That's exactly what we saw yesterday. That was all computer trading, algos just chasing after each other, trying to beat each other to the next bid that I was trying to hit down. Many bids were getting canceled, and before humans could make the right decisions, the computers already made bad decisions.
And finally, do you think that technology will bring about a faster market crash in the future?
What's happening now is that technology is moving faster and developing faster than the rules and regulations of our market structure here. What we need to do is to continue to look at these instances, and they're very insightful, expensive lessons and experiences that are going on here, and to see how to prevent them moving forward. You can't always plan for the perfect storm to come, but you have to put means and measures in place. So how do you do that? Technology, algorithmic trading has become too dark. It needs to be more transparent. Our markets have become so fragmented that we don't need 60 liquidity centers out there. We need maybe 5 centralized marketplaces that can handle all of this information, that can have speed bumps in place when things get erratic. We need to bring back more of the common sense interaction into trading, as opposed to letting computers make decisions. So once again, I know this ball is going to get thrown back down to Washington, so to speak, to the SEC, because there's going to be more studies and more examples of how this happened, why this happened, maybe some examples of how it could have been prevented, and how do we stop it in the future. It's really up to the SEC's stance right now to make a firm decision as to how to prevent this from moving forward.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.